Welcome to the narrated Learn PvP edition of Astro Zombies. In this video I'm going to be teaching you some of the tactics I use to get kills in the Stabber Fleet issue and the Cynabal. Both of these are nano ships that usually fly by, or their usual tactic is to kite. You can see here I'm in FD. I was in the Stabber Fleet issue, and at the time goons were living in FT, or some of them, a detachment of goons or whatever. So I'd come here looking for fights pretty often. This time I got lucky. There's quite a bit on scan. You can see there's a Stabber Fleet issue, a Saber, a Jaguar, a Claw, Thorax, and here just a second, an Inyo on docks. So right now I'm just looking for targets. I don't know where these guys all are, so I'm kind of scanning, trying to figure out where they're all located, because they seem to be kind of scattered. Right now I can take any one of these ships one-on-one, but the problem is they're all together, and I'm not going to get a one-on-one unless I force it to be a one-on-one. So I have to find a way to isolate a target and force them to basically take it one at a time. So right now I've got that Inyo there. I could fight him right now if he were to charge at me away from that station. I'd go ahead and start shooting at him and try to kill him and make it a running fight, because as long as I'm moving at a good speed, even if his buddies warp in on top of me, they're going to warp a good distance behind me, and I'll have time to adapt and disengage and get away. You can see now I'm checking the character age of Johnny Raw. He's the Inyo pilot. The reason I do that is because I want to see which pilots are potentially new pilots, if they're less than a few months old or even less than a year old, and I compare that to, say, I'm about to check Doc Grimes. He's in the Raptor. I'm about to check his character age. If I see one of the two is much younger than the other, it helps me to prioritize targets and know which one's likely to die the fastest should I engage both of them at the same time. So I like to check character ages whenever I have time to see if I can spot potential weaknesses. Sometimes you prioritize by threat, the threat that the other ship is to you, if they can, nukes you, jam you, whatever. And other times you would prioritize just by killing the easiest to drop first, to reduce the amount of DPS on the field, reduce the threat, and also as a kind of psychological factor. If they see their buddies popping, it's going to make them more likely to make mistakes while you're fighting them. So a lot of times it's nice to get a quick kill at the beginning of a fight. You can see there I had scanned the Raptor down to this gate, and right after I scanned him to the gate, he disappeared out of local and he disappeared off scan. So he had his ship named with his name. It was named Doc Grimes as Raptor. So it's pretty easy to know that when Doc Grimes left and the Raptor left from this gate. I knew they had jumped through this gate, so I figured, okay, I'm going to warp there, but they were gone, so I start to warp back. I'm going to warp back to the station and go see if I can fight that Inyo, because the Raptor's gone. I assume he's, 2 jumps away right now and not coming back. But then as I turn around here, I see the gate flash, and I look at local, and I see Doc Grimes has just come back into local. So I stop my warp, and I just get aligned. So now I'm concerned, I want to fight the Raptor. I want to see if the Raptor is going to charge out at me. If the Raptor does charge out at me, then I have a really, really good, easy kill, an ideal kill. Raptors are pretty easy to kill when you're in the Stabber Fleet issue. So my threat here is that if more comes in, but I can pop the Raptor so fast I'm not too concerned. I'm not sure if I've done it yet, but I aligned something sideways across the gate so I don't get too far away from it. I want to stay right around 110, 120, right in there, or between 100 and 120. I'm using my scanner here, and yeah, there I go, to align sideways. So I guess perpendicular to the gate. That way I don't get out beyond that 150 mark that I don't want to be beyond, just in case there's a fleet on the other side of the gate. I want them to have to slow boat it to me and not be able to warp. So there's the Raptor. He's uncloaked. He's not doing anything yet. He's just kind of sitting there. He held his cloak for as long as he could, it looks like, waiting for his buddies to kind of get ready. Now there's a Stabber Fleet issue on scan. The Stabber Fleet issue comes in at a tactical above the gate, and you can see the Raptor's speed just picked up. So he's charging. The SFI is a little bit too far. He can warp to me. I don't like that. And there's the Inyo that just came in right on top of me. He came in at 100, landed 20k away. So now that's a threat. If that Inyo charges and gets a scram, I'm in big trouble. So right here I have to make a quick decision. I decide, no, I'm not going to line out and try to leave. I'm going to try to fight. So here's a pause slide here. You can see all the ships on the field. And you can see me in the middle there. What I want to do is I want to charge kind of towards the stabber fleet issue, but also kind of straight out, not directly at him, and hopefully put him at less than 150k when the fight actually goes down. You can see the Inyo got a little bit too close for comfort there. 14, that's too close. I engage as fast as I can. I overload my micro warp drive because I know an Inyo's faster than me, potentially, if he's fit right. So I want to make sure I can maintain the ability to dictate range. The Raptor is easily faster than me, but he doesn't have a scram in most cases, so I'm not worried about him too much. He's just going to long point. The Inyo I need to get off the field first. He's the biggest threat. Now that the Inyo's gone, I'm going to use my keep at 19 on the Raptor, try to get good tracking on him. The biggest threat with the Raptor is that he sees he's dying and he runs away. So towards the end of the fight there, I turned in on him and tried to keep him in range. A lot of times when you're engaging an interceptor, as soon as they see they're in trouble, they back off, and they're so quick that they can get out of your range really quick. So that's it. I've got an Inyo and a Raptor down pretty quick, pretty easy. I'm still like 100% shields, half burnt out micro warp drive, but that was fairly simple. So at this point, a Saber and Thorax come a little bit too late, but they come onto the field. I can take any of these ships 1v1, but all at the same time, I have to take them one at a time. I can't take them all at the same time. You can see the Saber just started charging, and he's coming fast. He's coming real fast. It's like he overloaded a cycle or something. And you see there, he kind of slowed down once he got to around 24. I should be shooting here, but I think I was preparing to get out. I was just about to warp, and I said, no. He's isolated himself enough from that Thorax that I can easily kill this Saber, because the Thorax either didn't come in time or it was too slow. Whatever the case was, he's too far to be a threat to me right now, so I can do whatever I want with this Saber and kill him as long as he doesn't scram me, which is the biggest threat. If he scrammed me, I'd still probably kill him, but the Thorax would be on me by the time I killed him, and then I would probably die. So through this whole fight, it looks like that Stabber Fleet issue kind of thought about attacking me, but he never really came in on me. I'm not sure why he never decided to actually engage. And that's it for that fight. The main thing there was prioritizing targets, trying to keep that Stabber Fleet issue out. He didn't seem to even want to come in a lot of the cases, but had he wanted to come in and if he was fit correctly, he could have been a big threat to me. That's why I tried to keep him below the warp distance, below 150, whenever possible, so that he wouldn't be able to get to me as quickly. Beyond that, I just made sure I never got scrammed, which is really, really critical. When you're flying a nano ship like this, your speed is your life. If you stop, you die, especially if you stop where people can warp to you. If you get scrammed and locked down somewhere, and everybody can warp in right on top of you, you're really in bad trouble. But if you have them isolated, at least then you've got something that's going to keep you safe. In this next video, I was in the Cynabal, and the Cynabal is basically just a souped up version of the SFI. It's got a newt, which is huge. Gives it a lot more flexibility, a lot more capability to get out when things go bad. And it's got more speed, more DPS. It's better in almost every way. But for the price, I think for most pilots, being able to fly 3 SFIs for the price of 1 Cynabal, you're better off flying the 3 SFIs. You're going to learn and progress a lot faster over the course of 3 ships than you are in 1. And the fact is, with the Cynabal, people just won't fight it. In most cases, they're either going to blob you and not take any risks, or they're just going to ignore you and not fight you. So with the SFI, at least you get some fights. You see here this Tornado. He warped down to snipe me, but I don't want to fight a Tornado with the Cynabal unless I can go to the station and refit a scram, which sometimes I do carry a scram just for that purpose. And if I did have a scram, I would try to come in at him at an angle, have him sniping me, avoid his shots, maybe take a few shots on the way in, and then get in close on him, scram him, orbit at 500 with my micro warp drive off. He wouldn't hit me, and I'd be able to kill him pretty easy. But that's not the case right now. So basically, I just want to toy with these guys until they do something that allows me to kill them. I kind of thought for a second about engaging that Drake, then I decided, no, let me see what's on the other side of the gate. So I let him red box and get aggroed so he couldn't jump. then I jumped across, and now I see on the other side there's a Republic Fleet Firetail and a Brutix that have come to the gate. So it looks like these guys are intent on trying to kill me. So I've got to try to find a way to get a kill. The easy target here is the Firetail. The Brutix and the Drake are both going to have enough tank to where anytime I engage them, I'm not going to be able to get them down before everybody else comes in and gets on top of me. And because they're so slow, I can't really move them fast enough or get them to chase fast enough to get them away from their buddies either. So what I decided to do here is I'm going to use keep at 100 on this Drake, and I'm just going to burn away from him and see if he'll chase me off gate. I'm thinking if this guy's got a bad fit, or if he's got low character skills, potentially if I can just get him to drag off gate, maybe I can isolate him out at 100k, engage him, kill him. There's also the potential here, I was thinking, that the Firetail would see me running off, and they know that the Firetail's the only thing they have that can catch me, potentially, if he's got a micro warp drive. So I'm hoping they would jump the Firetail in, charge at me, and I'd kill the Firetail as it came in. But I'm thinking about both possibilities here. And then right about here, I start thinking, well, maybe if I just jump in, that Brutix isn't going to be able to do much as long as I keep him out of web and scram range. Tornado might hit me once, but it's not going to be too bad. I could probably just jump in and gank that Firetail. So my plan, right around here somewhere, I get the bright idea and I say, hey, I'm just going to leave this guy out at 100k. He can't get to the gate. So that's one less guy in this fight. And you can see there in local, Hillbilly Bush jumped in, and now he's kind of stuck there for 10-20 seconds while he runs back to gate, which means now it's just the Firetail. This is perfect. I've got to use keep at 16. Using keep at allows your tracking to be better rather than orbit. And you know he's going to be charging at you, so it'll be kind of like a straight line that he'll be coming at you and you'll be going away from him, allowing me to get perfect tracking. I think 2 volleys and he was down. I'm guessing he didn't have any kind of decent buffer tank on that Firetail. So he dropped really fast. You can see the Tornado just hit me right there. What I was thinking after I popped him, I switched to Barrage thinking the Brutix would come in. And I was hoping that the Brutix would then charge at me, and maybe I could take the Brutix while being shot at by the Tornado. But that one big hit by the Tornado convinced me that it wasn't such a good idea. I wouldn't be able to tank long enough with the Tornado shooting at me. So that was it for that, and I hope you enjoyed this narrated version of Astro Zombies. If you like this video, you'll love the SFI Pro Guide. The SFI Pro Guide is going to teach you how to fly the Stabber Fleet issue, the Cynabal, and the Tech 1 Armor Stabber. All of these ships are awesome at solo PvP and are tons of fun to fly. The reason I've included all these ships in the same guide is because the tactics and the skill points needed to fly them is very similar across the whole bunch of them. That way you're not just getting one guide, you're getting 3 guides. The SFI Pro Guide has over 8 hours of video guides, and that's probably going to expand over the next month or 2 as I add more. In the SFI Pro Guide, you're first going to get fitting discussions. You're going to get the fitting you need. Then we're going to talk about the fitting. I'm going to tell you why you fit this, the reasons behind it, so that you can understand the fittings better. And then after that, we go into tactics lectures. The tactics lectures are where I use drawings. I'm not the best artist, but I use drawings to show you the tactics I use, how I get targets isolated, what to do when certain things happen. You know, if this guy warps in, what do you do now? And all the different tactics you need to know to handle solo PvP and to learn it as quickly as possible. Among the 8 hours of video, guys, there's most of it, or the majority of the video guides is PvP videos like the one you just watched, where I narrate and stop the videos at certain points, talk about the different tactics, tell you why I'm doing what I'm doing, how I'm doing what I'm doing, give you kind of a ride along so you can understand at every point of the fight how I adapt to what's happening around me and what I do to make the most out of each situation. Finally, there's the tactical cheat sheets. This has been a real big hit with all of my guides. The tactical cheat sheets are spreadsheets that it's a little piece of paper that you can print out and put beside your computer, that whenever you're flying the certain ship, It tells you exactly which ships you can engage, which ships never to engage, which ships are easy, which ships are hard. It also tells you how to engage those ships. What are the best tactics to use, what to look out for. It's a really good, quick reference way to know what you're doing and to not have to stop and think at a time when maybe you don't have time to stop and really analyze the situation. You just look, you know, and you execute and you get the kill. For more information about the SFI Pro Guide, go to eveproguides.com.